Hi guys, this is Alex from Masson Lifestyle. So today I thought that I would tell you guys about my app. It's called Measure Ease. So I created the app. I've been working on it for quite some time and a little bit of back and forth with Apple computers. It finally got approved. You can actually download the app from the App Store free on the website, and I will go ahead and put a link on the description box below. But you can actually download the app free. Again, it's called Measure Ease. And what the app does is it records your body measurements, and then it gives you your measurements in inches. Perhaps you use the imperial system, which is inches, but a lot of the indie patterns that we use, like Merchant and Mills, Vicky Sews, Atelier Jupe, a lot of their measurements are in metric, which the rest of the world uses metric for the exception of the United States. So I wanted something to not just convert my measurements and store them, but I wanted to see them side by side so I could compare. Why? Because, for example, if you work in inches or perhaps centimeters all the time, you visually know, right, how much is an inch, how much is a centimeter, but when you are presented with another set of measurements that usually you're not accustomed to, then you are like, okay, well, what does 20 centimeters look like in case of ease? So that's when I kind of had to do a little bit of math, right? Divide by 2.54. And you can do all of that, right? And just write it in a piece of paper, but perhaps you are going to buy a pattern at a store, or you don't have your measurements in front of you. That kind of goes out the window and you're kind of going by the seat of your pants, no pun intended. But that's why I wanted to create this app. So I went ahead and created it. And again, you can download this for free. And I put it as you can set your own profile, and just one profile. Why? Because the majority of us just sew for ourselves, right? We are, a lot of us just sew for ourselves. And of course, there is a select few like tailors or costume designers that or pattern makers that design for many sizes and a multitude of people. So I felt, okay, well, those people can pay for the app, but the rest of us, right? I know a lot of you that watch me, you're sew for yourself as a hobby. So I wanted to give you the chance to use the app. So let me show you a little bit more about what I'm talking about. So this is the Shein puffer from Vicky Sews. I'm currently working on this project, and I'll put a picture up so you guys can get an idea of what I'm working on. And they do have in their website the measurements in metric and imperial, again, inches and centimeters, and they give you all this good stuff, right? But when you are working on a pattern, you see things like this: bust circumference 20.7 centimeters, waist circumference ease of 40.8 centimeters, right? Off the top of my head, I don't quite know what that number is, and I want to make decisions right away about it, and that's where Measure Ease kind of comes into play. And yes, it says or refer to instructions for the imperial measurements, but that just means that you got to go open something else and go check it out. So that's what the app does, and let me show you what the app looks like. All right, so this is the front page for the app. Again, it's called Measure Ease. And biggest thing for you to know is that you go to the home screen and you just go ahead and you click on create a new profile, right? Again, as a user free, you get the chance to create your own profile. So if you click on that, You can go ahead and add your name, your last name. When are you saving these measurements? And of course, you also have, if you want to record your measurements in inches or if you want to record those in centimeters, you also have different body types, male or female. So if you wanted to record measurements for male or female, you can. You just got to move that little toggle from left to right. You also have a section where you can look at your main measurements, which of course it's bust or chest for male, waist and hips. Those are usually your main measurements. The app can record a lot more measurements. For example, your height, your head circumference, your neck, right? Your high bust for female, bust. You also have your cup size, and it says unknown right now. And that is because the app calculates your cup size. So let me show you. So right now I'm typing my measurement for high bust, right? 42.5 inches. And then for my full bust, and then automatically the app gives me my cup size. So in case you don't know how to do this, I do realize a lot of you know, but in case you don't know how to come up with this number, the app helps you. Obviously, if you are saving your measurements for a male, you're not going to have that. You're going to have a measurement box for chest, and that's where you would add that. But of course, I am saving things for females, so I'll go over there. And again, you have plenty of measurements here, right? Bicep, arm's length, hips, upper hips, front length. And you can just save your profile. One thing to note, the app saves automatically, but if you're like me that likes to save right away, then you can do that. We also have a tab for information, and it just shows you what each measurement is and where should you be measuring. So again, there's a little drawing for every measurement. If perhaps you haven't taken your measurement for upper hips and you're like, where does this go? Then it goes in there, right? Another thing that I wanted to show you is custom measurements, and they are all the way down from when you have made. And let's say that you're making a swimsuit and you have to add bra cups to this. And let's say that you need your measurements from apex to apex. So this is where you can go ahead and save those measurements. You would go ahead and put what your measurement name is, right? And I don't know, I'm going to throw a ballpark. Don't quote me on this. I have no idea. I haven't measured, but I'm just going to say, okay, it's 15 inches, which seems like a lot, but it sounds good for now. So I would just plug that in. And let's say if you usually like a skirt length from your waist to your knee, right? That's perhaps not something that you would have all the time, but you want to record this. You would just add that label to that measurement, and then go ahead and record that measurement. Oops. So again, you have custom measurements that you can save. And then let's say that you are working on your measurements the entire time. Nice little thing that we have also is you have a favorite tab all the way at the top. And right now it says none. You have no favorites. Let's say that you are working on I don't know, on a pair of pants and you have a lot of measurements that you have taken and you don't want to keep searching through all the profiles. So you would just hit favorite, search from all the favorites that you have, right? Just find the profile that you like and you can click that little toggle on the right hand side that says favorite. And then every time that you open the app to favorite, it'll come up to that profile. So now you know about favorite profiles. And one thing I also want to mention is the app works on your phone and it also works on your iPad. So if you delete a profile or update a profile in either device, it automatically will update. So whatever you do on one device, you updated your measurements on your iPad, then they update on your iPhone. So a nice little thing to have. Okay. So I wanted to make sure that I told you guys about that. And of course, you're going to need an iCloud account. And if you have an iPhone or an iPad, you will have an iCloud account. You can also use Google, the oh my goodness, what's it called? The app asks you to log in because, of course, we have private measurements and we don't want people to look at them. Here's another tab. It's called the ease calculator. If you perhaps have body measurements in centimeters, I'm kind of putting measurements right now in centimeters, and perhaps I want to convert those to, I only have um, the measurements in centimeters and I want to convert those just because visually, guys, you know how much 2 inches is, right? If you work with that measurement all the time, you know what it is. So yes, it's a calculator, you can subtract and all that good stuff, but the nice little thing is that you have that toggle on the right hand side and you can convert those measurements from metric to imperial at any time and really see, okay, what used to be 18 centimeters is now 7 inches. That might be a lot for that bodycon dress, right? It's not going to be very bodycon. I also added a little bit of a tab called Garment Ease Guidelines. So, for example, if you want to do a bias cut dress, right? And you're thinking, okay, well, how much ease should a bias cut dress have? Right? So I know what to select as far as size. Perhaps you want it to have a little bit more of a regular fit. So it gives you measurements for bust, waist, and hip. But what if you like it to have a little bit more ease? So the app gives you some sort of guidelines as to, for example, how much ease would you have depending on how you want this dress to fit. And there's many other types of garments in there. Just go ahead and let me know if you can think of any other ones. But for example, swimwear, where we have negative ease, right? If you want a athletic fit, which is even tighter, or if you want bodycon because you don't want your swimsuit to kind of fly off. So that's the Garment Ease Guidelines. It's just another nifty little tab that you guys have. And there is also this little button here called Fit AI. It's one of those things that I kind of fought Apple quite a bit because it's not something that I wanted to add to my app because it feels like there's a lot of AI. But I thought, okay, how can I make this useful for some of us? And it is something that I'm still working on. There are some guardrails in this. It's not like you can go asking about elections or some sort of history. It has to do only with sewing, fit, sewing patterns. And this again is part of the paid part of the app. But for example, I'm thinking that, okay, I have to do a sway back adjustment on my dress, but I have no idea how to do this. Where do I begin? So you can just go ahead and type on that little box, right? You can type on that little box. So you can go ahead and ask the AI, hey, how do I do a sweep back adjustment? Right? I have no idea how to do those. It's not a usual adjustment that I have, but I can always ask the AI, how the heck do I do this? Right? And the AI goes to think, da da da, it goes to think. You see those three little dots? It's checking away, but it tells you how to do it. I am also working on if you load a picture, perhaps you have a picture from something that you saw online, a dress that you want to make from, I don't know, Sasan or one of those awesome ready to wear. And you can load up the picture and the AI will give you some suggestions and patterns. So it's one of those things that I'm currently working on. So that's the Fit AI, and that's part of the paid part of the app. You also have a little thing here that says that you can send me feedback, follow the app Instagram page, and you can log out. I did went ahead and like I mentioned, I put a way for you to log in and log out of the app in case you are like me. You just like things to be private and keep your things to yourself. And if somebody grabs your phone, it's not something that they can open up and go check, right? What you have, especially if you are a working professional and you have all those measurements from your clients, you want to make sure that you're safeguarding that information. So, guys, that is Measure Ease. I certainly hope you download the app. There is a link on the description box below. You're going to hit a paywall. But when you do, just click on the little X on the right hand top side and you are in. Yeah, let me know. I certainly hope you guys try it and that you find it useful. I will see you next time. Bye.